So, it's been 2 weeks since we did a recording. We had some difficulty. Uh, the first week we really didn't do much, and then the second week, the old producer, Wayne, ended up getting food poisoning on Sunday. So,
I know how to cook.
yeah, undercooked chicken maybe. Um, but since the veteran community is harder to break into than I anticipated, Uh, having a little trouble finding volunteers to tell their story, which is understandable because that is a lot of pain. So this week we're going to focus on ourselves. We'll start off with a little mental health update for the since our stories and kind of catch up till now. So Hendrix, what have you been going through mentally since you did your story or the last 2 weeks?
Last 2 weeks? Well, I mean, the last 2 weeks I've been either sick or busy. There's no mental health coming through since I told my story. That's been months ago.
Yeah, but there's still everlasting effects on it, on your mental health. I mean, it's not like you tell your story and then it magically dissipates all the mental problems, you know?
Now, the only problems I've been dealing with is back to living alone.
And
It's quiet.
too quiet for you.
Yeah, way too quiet.
Well, what do you anticipate, or what do you plan on doing to negate the silence?
Set up every phone I have to play music when I want. That'd be great.
Just,
I'm actually glad to be out of that relationship, but the quietness just sucks ass.
yeah. Yeah. Now, do you think it's the fear of silence that bothers you more than anything? Not the actual fear, but the what comes along with the silence. Is that what's bothering you?
No, I'm not used to actual silence. Everywhere I've worked, there's always been noise. Everything I've done, there's been noise. School, noise. Army, noise. My last job's noise. Literally everything, there's been noise. And now that I'm alone, there's no noise.
Yeah. And what does that do to you? What does that do to you when there's no noise? How does it make you feel? Or
Time stops. It gets to that moment, that weird moment we talked about the other day.
the edging on the line of a panic attack or anxiety?
Yeah. I'll look at the clock when it's too quiet and it'll say 7 p.m. and then 20 minutes will pass and it'll say 6:40. It's like it's not normal.
Yeah.
So I end up staying up a lot. Usually behind the computer playing Zelda or doing something else with a video editing or anything to noise. These things, fancy Razer 7.1, come in handy. So
See, that's where we differ, is when you go about avoiding problems that you have by flooding or, trying to keep yourself and your mind as busy as you can to try to distract from thinking. But I go to the other extreme, is when I feel something, like something's wrong, I dive deep into it, and then more times than not, I fall into a depression hole. And this last 2 weeks, I fell pretty deep into a hole because it is going to be the anniversary of 7-year anniversary, 8-year anniversary of Sergeant Thomas committing suicide. And previously to EMDR, this time of year was where I'd cut off everybody. Everybody else would cut off ties from the military, and everybody would go dark for at least 2-3 weeks. And the thing that helped me the most this time was actually expressing, as stupid as it sounds, is expressing these ideas and these thoughts and feelings in a group setting. In group therapy. I go every week, group therapy. Go there and verbally vomit all my negativity on the therapist and walk out feeling like a brand new man.
that's in 3 days, isn't it?
It is in 3 days. 4 days.
Oh, it's on the 9th.
10th.
10th.
10th. I always had trouble piecing it together, the timeline, because when you go through something like that, I'm sure you can attest through your experiences that it leaves your brain in hyper mode, so like everything blurs around that situation. And for me, in before EMDR, I couldn't have told you what day it happened on. I knew it happened on the month. I didn't know. I know what month it happened on. I don't know the day specifically until I was doing my story and Redmond told me that it was on Father's Day, which really
That's fucked.
that's fucked. Yeah, because he had a family. He had kids. You know. Um. Yeah. But now after EMDR, I can kind of piece it together. And like my days that I have trouble with are the 8th, ninth, and 10th. Because the 8th and ninth were the 2 days. Well, the night of the 7th and then 8th, ninth, and 10th are the days that kind of blur together for me. Because that's when I started sitting behind cameras and watching people where weapons went, stuff like that. And then the no sleep, I'm sure that didn't help. But I was very scared about this year. I didn't know how to react. I got very paranoid about the day that's coming. I started talking to a bunch of people on Twitter, um, trying to ask how they deal with their shit, just trying to get some advice. And there was one guy that said, uh, pretty much the past is the past. And he's also a vet, and he went through a lot of stuff, and I hope to get him on here one day.
You know what you could do?
Hmm.
Flood. You have kids, though.
What what does that mean? Because I have kids, what?
Well, on the 10th, let your kids take control of your life. If they want to play cards, play cards. If they want to go do something, go do something. Take your mind off of it.
Of course, try to keep myself busy, but I don't want to be detached either. I want to keep myself in the moment.
Detaching is great.
For me, it's not. It doesn't work for me. Because if I detach, then I fully detach.
Yeah.
And then when I reattach, full force of gravity hits me in the mouth, and then usually leads me into a dark, dark abandoned abyss that.
You gotta pick and choose what you detach from, though, so.
See, I have a lot of problems with that, man. It's because I have such a strong connection with my emotions. It's not. I am still learning how to separate the voices from. It's gonna sound really queer. uh, I'm really having a hard time separating the voices from my heart from my head. And once the voices in my head get too loud, then it drowns out everything else. Every other voice that I hear or whatever, and it even drowns out my family. And I get consumed by my problems. And usually when that happens, I just pretty much go dark. And thankfully, I got in contact with people that helped me in the past and are still helping me. The old platoon daddy messaged me the other day and Chuck checked up on me, told me to stay on the radar because he remembers when I went dark for that 3-4 year period. And it's just a reminder that there are people out there that care. I did fall into a really hard depression. It was weird. It started off slow, and then I fell in it head first. I was having suicidal ideology again, and there was one day where it was just so painful. I was just like, I really just wanted to say fuck it, dude.
When was that?
That day that I didn't talk to you.
That was like last week, wasn't it?
Last week, Monday.
Yeah, what caused all that?
I think what caused that was like probably the non-progress of the podcast mixed with um, my vision isn't meeting my expectations of how this creative venture should be going, or
Well, you gotta understand, though, because off of my experience with streaming and recording in YouTube, it's gonna take a long time. It's actually ahead of schedule with 30-something subscribers. Because my first year on Twitch, I had like 10. And then after that first year, it just blew up and I had hundreds of thousands. And it's It takes a while. It takes for frickin' ever.
Yeah.
But those 10 subscribers that I got within that year, it wasn't all at once. Like, it was 6 months and a half, 3.
Yeah.
So the YouTube channel is actually doing pretty good. It's way ahead of what I thought.
Yeah, but the way that I was going through that whole manic phase of it really felt like after EMDR and after having the hard talk with my parents and after like learning the subject matter that I was at the time, a statistical analysis of psychology, it was like I broke into a new world. I know it sounds a little bit delusional, but it was like I was reborn into something that was a lot less dark, you know, and with that breakthrough, I always thought that there'd be more to it. Like, I don't know. It's delusional thinking for sure that it would be we come onto the scene and then people throwing roses at us, you know, some stupid shit. But that's just how my brain works. And I've never been one for patience. Patience is not my strong suit.
I had the same problem my first year of streaming. Like, I thought it would be, I'd have 50,000 followers within the first 10 days, or, you know, the first day I'd have a shit ton of followers, and it never happened, and I got super depressed about it. There was a point in time, because I'm a big gamer, and I like gaming, but I also like streaming, and there was a time where I just didn't want to stream or play game anymore, because it was 3 followers in the first 6 months. That's not normal.
Yeah.
That's what I thought wasn't normal, but apparently it's super normal. There's a guy, he streams, and he's the biggest streamer for Call of Duty. Like, if something comes out, Call of Duty contacts him first. Like, he has all this different kind of sponsors for games and stuff. And he started out on Titanfall, like the old.
Titanfall, that was a great game, dude.
But he didn't, like, you remember how long ago that game came out? Like,
Dude, that was like 2012, 2013, something like that.
that's when he first started streaming, and he blew up last year.
Oh shit.
It took that long for him to...
See, that's the thing. Like, I understand that it takes persistence and patience, but it's like, how the fuck do these people do it? Like, keep themselves from going crazy? Because, like, that first month and a half after we released the first episodes and, like, our content was building, I would sit there every day, couple times a day. I'd go onto YouTube, go to our channel, see our views, look at our subscribers. I was driving myself fucking crazy.
Yeah, you can't do that. But he didn't even expect to blow up like that. He didn't even know that he blew up, because he'd stream every day like I would. He'd never look at the viewers or anything. He would just talk to the chat on the side of the box. But that's gaming. People love watching gaming.
Yeah.
There's only a selection of type of people that like podcasts and stuff, and it still took them that long to up.
Yeah.
It was rough on him the first when it first happened, because he didn't even know it. One of his friends was a moderator, and they had to tell him that, dude, you have like 1 million subscribers right now. Have you checked your bank account? Because, you know, after so many subscribers, you start getting paid for it. The dude was like, no, I'm still trying to pay bills, because he lived in a shitty ass apartment. He didn't think he'd make the bills and shit. And he was like, no, I'm still trying to pay bills and trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. His friend was like, you need to check your bank account right now and check your viewers. And he checked his bank account. The dude bought a house.
Oh shit.
Dude bought a Tesla.
That's
dude
cool.
Upgraded.
That's cool. See, that side of the podcasting doesn't interest me. Like, I don't give a fuck about money. Like, everybody has money troubles, of course.
I'd like to get some money, get this thing better built, and, you know, bills cut up.
Of course. But I mean, it's not a goal for me is to make this an income or a job. You know, I just want to hear pain. As morbid and dark as that sounds, I don't know, man. It feels like people, that's a huge thing in society, I think, is why you see all this older generation, and you see how they're like emotionally numb, and it's just because they've fucking caged themselves up so tight that they don't allow themselves to express anything. And I don't think the world or life should be like that. I really don't. Life is an experience, and you're supposed to fucking just love and move on, but
It's going to be like that for me anyways for a while, because the only person I could actually express to is you, because I forgot, and some of the Germans that actually watch this may hate me for it. Excuse me, I'm trying to fix the light. I forgot Germans really don't like to talk about anything.
Well, you got to find the right German dude. I got a bunch of German bros that I can have some pretty deep conversations with. It just comes on the type of person. We got to find the ones that are like us, that were raised in a system, but they're on the outside of the system.
Uh, I know of one that was very abused, and she sees the world in a different light, but she doesn't like to talk about anything. Like when she watched the podcast, she was like, "I don't want to talk about it."
Maybe it's just too painful for her to even step on the idea of, of her past. That's how it is.
Well, she was explaining it like, "Okay, I've seen it. I know a lot of things about you, but we're not going to talk about it." Like she literally told me, "We're not going to talk about it." I was like, "Okay, so screw that."
It's I wouldn't say screw that. It's just now you got a question that you should attack. I mean, if this interests you, like why she's doing this or why she acts the way she does, then you have a question. Why are you the way you are? When meeting people, new people, I have a German friend that'll attest to this. Dude, beautiful dude, ex-military, full, just tatted. He looks like an angry little dude, like little buff guy. But he's such a fucking teddy bear on the inside. And my first question to him was, "Do you believe in God?" And the follow-up question is, "What is your dream?" Those are my first two questions when I meet somebody that interest me. I'll ask them that, and based on that, I'll know how to treat them.
Well, most of the people that I meet that I actually want to get to know, there's no getting to know them. So
There's little ways, there's cracks ways in. How do you think? How did I fucking work my way into your fucking life?
because we're stuck together on base.
That's different.
My office was one door down.
We were forced to be together, but even in the military, I didn't know anything about your past. Anything.
Nobody did.
Nobody did, but there was some reason, some way, somehow that I was able to get in and fucking help you to tell your story. Not help you, pretty much persuade you.
Except the FBI, they knew.
Oh,
But yeah, no, the people here that I actually know, because I don't get out a lot. I go to work and I come home. I mean, now that my tire's dead, I really can't get out. No, I have a different bike. I have two bikes. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, I go to work and I come home. But the people at work, there's like one or two people that I could actually get to know. One's Patrick. He's a really good friend. Super tall, tatted, but he's the nicest dude you've ever seen. And he's more of a girl than anything. And then Sarmus, the dude I was telling you about, he like I'll talk to him about anything, but I'm more comfortable around women, so I talk. Most of the people I talk to at work are just women,
yeah.
and most of the women they'll talk about trivial stuff. And here I am trying to have a deep ass conversation about the origins of the universe. And they're like, "Well, the sports team this." I'm just like, God damn it, all to hell.
Yeah, that's.
They just don't want to open up like that to me, and it's just like I understand, like I'm a dude, and everyone thinks I'm out to,
Pussy.
I'm out to fuck and everything. It's like no, I'm not. I just got out of the most toxic 3-year relationship of my life. Do you think I want to fuck you? First off, we work together. No. Second off, no, I'm not going to introduce somebody long term into my apartment. My pretty ass apartment. Okay, I don't have the closet space for that. It's taken up by electronics and boxes.
Yeah, but the difference is you're androgynous. You're not normal. So you're going to be viewed differently from both sexes. The men are going to see you as weak because you have a direct connection to your emotion, and the females will see you as a predator because you put on they think a false mask of emotion.
I've actually asked one because she has a boyfriend or husband or something like that, but she's always talking to me. always talking because she first started talking when I was asked to take pictures of people.
Hmm.
So I brought in the big camera. Yours when I first had it?
Hmm.
You still haven't signed the custody paperwork over that. But yeah, I brought that in and she started talking to me, whatever. Now she talks to me every single day and she jokes around with me. But she has a boyfriend and a husband, which I don't mind one bit. But I was curious because the way she treats me is, like a best friend. So I was like, okay, I could ask her the questions that I can't ask other women. I was like, why do women always think I want to fuck? And she described it that I come off as gay,
Hmm.
but not gay.
Hmm.
Like, what the fuck does that mean?
That's what I just said. You have a huge attachment to your emotions. You're not per se a strong type 1 fucking alpha male, you know?
But I can't fucking flirt. That shit goes right over my head when a woman flirts with me. That shit just.
I think that's something different, man. I've never been able to really flirt unless there was alcohol or drugs involved.
I actually, at the beginning of the year, before we in the X split, there was a woman that was she kept questioning me, like, what do I want? What do I want? I never understood it. And I finally, like, I finally told her, I was like, I need you to be very direct because I don't understand what you're asking me. And she was like, are you just talking to me because you want to sleep with me or what? I was like, the fuck did that come out of? And and apparently the way I was speaking to her, it come off as flirting to her. I'm like, I'm sorry, my speech is smoother than the cream cheese on your bagel, but that's not flirting for me. If you feel awkward about life, that's flirting.
What do you mean by that? Awkward about life.
Because I can't flirt, so it comes out awkward as fuck.
I get it.
If you feel like you need to look around to see if there's any witnesses, that's probably me flirting.
Like looking all over looking around the corners before you tell a racist joke. Yeah.
Because whenever I speak to women, just shit, whatever is in my head, there's no filter. It just comes out. Whenever I speak to dudes or the select few dudes that I do talk to, it's the same thing. It just comes out.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah, it was. I think with the whole feeling comfortable with different sexes, I feel comfortable more with females because I always had a stronger relationship emotionally with my mom than my dad. And that's from straight up childhood. And that's nothing, that's no fault on my dad or nothing, but that's cuz my dad is very vague.
I was about to say that could be a good topic on genetics or raising, but then again, it wouldn't because I was raised in a house with 5 women that related to me. So
Yeah, but I mean, the absence or not or the presence or the absence of a positive male role model that impacts your psychology hugely, especially as a child, because you don't have somebody that is the same sex as you to show you how to be that sex, if you get what I'm saying, you
yeah,
know?
but could you see me as a douchey Chad football guy?
I
Yo,
cannot.
bro.
I cannot. I don't think that's just not you, man. You weren't raised that way.
I couldn't deal with sports anyways. I hate sports.
I liked sports because of the team aspect, because the camaraderie and the overall pretty much goal to win as a team. You know, I was always drawn to that, but I always liked the single sports like wrestling. Well, no, like for what I did wrestling, but on the same time having anxiety, like huge anxiety at a small age when I would go out on the mat to wrestle and there'd just be me and a guy wrestling and everybody else watching. I'd feel gross because everybody was watching me, you know. I couldn't perform. My brain would like bzz, 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 you know, it'd like short out because all these eyes are on me and I was so nervous, but it was so good because it was all on me. But my brain won before the physical part of the match even started, you know? Like that brain is so fucking powerful sometimes. But yeah, organized sports as an adult, I don't understand it. I don't understand how just because I like a team or don't like a team, you hate me or like me. I don't get that. Um,
Same with shoes. You wear Adidas or Nikes, people judge you. What the
Yeah,
fuck? They're shoes.
I don't understand the labeling. I've never understood labeling. We're tiptoeing on a topic that we said we wouldn't talk about. Um, but yeah, I don't believe in sticking to a label to die. You know, like if somebody held a gun to my head and said pick a fucking label that labels your entire life, I couldn't.
It's the same in the computer world. Like if you're Asus, oh, you're the greatest, or if you're
A what?
Razer,
Asus?
What's Seuss?
Asus,
Ace? Oh, okay. Sorry.
or if you're a Lenovo or HP or whatever. It's like my computer is built out of a motley of parts, but they work together. Get over it. It works.
I don't understand that.
It's like they're just parts. It's just a brand name.
Yeah, I don't well, that has a lot to do with materialism, but I don't know. How were you when you were? Yeah, did you ever go through any materialistic phases in your life?
Like computers,
Well, anything, brand name, like
brand name, no.
No, really.
No. Like I said, my computers has been my entire life, but right now my computer is built of Asus, Nvidia, Corsair, what is that? Ryzen, Razer. It's literally a motley of parts.
But not just the computer world, like clothing, shoes, anything like that.
No, I have Primark, I have American Eagle, H&M. It's just mixed. My shoes, Harley Davidson, Doc Martens, Nike. I think I got a pair of Adidas in there. I know I got a pair of bougie shoes in there. But it's just whatever's comfortable for me. Whatever works.
Yeah.
You think I care about color matching?
See, that's something I respect in you. Or is that you've always had that quality of fuck what the social norms are. You know, I've always had that problem of adapting myself into these social norms because I never knew who I really was.
Most of it comes off of being color confused. Not blind, color confused. Like, I think it was like 2 months ago, I went to work in my black trench coat, the waterproof one, with a blue jacket underneath it, so the fluffy hood. Some nice pants and some shoes, and somebody was like, oh, it looks like you're getting fancy today. I was like, am I? You know, it was the only pants I had left. I don't know. I mean, it just goes together. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't ever get dressed to impress unless it's, you know, with someone I want to. And even then, I probably need help with it because, yeah, it's bad sometimes.
Taste of fashion ain't so fashionable.
There are some times though when I know I look good, I'll take a picture of it.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of you in a suit.
Yeah,
Kind of look like the agent from fucking Matrix.
I look good in that. I saw that and I'm like, you know what? It's picture time.
There was a point, I think 8th, ninth grade, when I was really materialistic, because like 7th grade, you know how you make that jump into junior high and it's a brand new school, more people, everything like that. So that's when I went to my like fucking silk spiderweb shirts and Jinko pants, like goth phase. But you know, I like that gothic clothing style, but I let other people's opinion change my style, you know.
You went to that type of high school though. My high school, elementary, middle, and high school were all connected. But I only came in the high school.
Hmm.
And I didn't give a fuck. I thought I was gonna move in the next 2 months anyways. And then that kind of defined me as a person. My ragtag average look. Call that hand-me-downs.
There you go. Yeah, but I let the fucking other people's perceptions shift my perception of myself. And then like 8th and ninth grade, I started buying like fucking Hollister, Abercrombie and Fitch, and like all that bullshit. It's like, nah, I mean, I think you gotta go through that stuff to learn. But ever since then, like ninth grade, I don't care like what I wear. Mostly what I wear is fucking Wyoming stuff now. You know, that's the only label that I like, is that I'm from fucking Wyoming.
Or gym shorts with your one pair of pants.
Don't hate, dude. I only need one pair of pants. I don't need more.
The week is 7 days long. I have 7 pairs of pants.
And what? Why? It's not like you're gonna shit your pants every fucking day of the week.
Who knows? I have a million shirts though. It's because pants are expensive. God, man.
Yeah, that's why I have one pair.
I've started shopping in the kids section because they actually fit me and they're cheaper.
Well, you're pretty much like a little boy, just with disgusting amounts of body hair.
Next topic.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about your prison time because I find that interesting, the whole isolation and what it can do to the human brain. But walk us through like the first day. What was that like stepping into prison and just knowing that god damn it, this is my house for the next who knows how long?
I barely remember the first week. I remember coming in. Okay, stepping off the plane. Okay, no, I do remember the plane ride because everyone thought that my guard died. Because apparently this dude hasn't slept in like 3 days, and we're on the plane, and I'm on the inside next to the window because he has to bar me in, and I'm in handcuffs or whatever, underneath the towel because they don't want people to freak out. And yeah, he falls asleep, and there's only one more prisoner with me, and he's behind me, and the guard is also behind the guard sitting beside me. So it goes me, the guard, and then the other guy, and then the guard. And it's a long ass flight. It's from Frankfurt to Kansas?
Missouri? Wait,
Missouri.
no, Leavenworth, Kansas.
Kansas. It's from Frankfurt, Germany to Kansas. So it's a long ass flight to be stuck in handcuffs and just to sit there. Because I didn't want to go to sleep. I'm wired. I just got out of the Mannheim jail where nobody speaks English barely and you don't know what the fuck is going on. People are screaming and it's Mannheim jail is something else. It's
That's predominantly for military though,
supposed to be.
but there was civilian population within there?
Yeah, there was only one other military guy with me.
Really? I didn't know that.
It's I think Mannheim is where they took the Germans before they go to their next stop.
Huh.
It's like a holding cell, basically.
The county before they go to prison.
Yeah.
Huh.
But we're on this long ass flight, and I can't sleep because I know it's the last time I'm going to be able to see people. Eat normal food, watch a movie because I had access to any movie on the flight. And
What was the last movie you watched before you went into prison?
Avengers.
Which one?
The
first one.
Yeah.
The clear copy.
The picture's so clear. But yeah, we're on this flight, and he falls asleep, and apparently he hasn't slept in 3 days, so he's hardcore sleeping. And we're about to land, and we're trying to wake him up because he's not belted in. I mean, I'm handcuffed in, like I'm attached to the seat. So if we go down, I'm dying. But yeah, he's sitting there on this. He's a nice guy, the guard. He was super nice. Like while we were walking through the airport, he took the handcuffs off me because he didn't want me to be, humiliated.
That's nice.
But the other guy, the other guard, and the other guard was an asshole. Yeah, my guard was good, but yeah, we're sitting there and he's sitting up on the seat like this, and he's just sleeping, and we're trying to wake him up, and I had to call the flight attendant. I'm like, his seatbelt's not done, and I was like, I can't do it, I'm handcuffed, and she was like, okay, it's okay, and she was like, sir, and he just started fritzing out. And kind of find out he hasn't slept in 3 days, but with the vibrations of the plane and his dreams apparently get so intense that he twitches, but with the twitches and the vibrations of the plane, it just made it
like super seizure.
And we thought this dude died because he stopped, and like he's a quiet breather, so we didn't hear any breath.
Oh shit.
We're just I'm grabbing him, like I'm shaking the fuck out of this dude, and he's just like just dead. Just toppled over. I'm just like, fuck, I'm gonna get in trouble for this because this is my guard. People are gonna see I killed him. What the fuck happened?
More time on my sentence.
And I caused a commotion in the plane because I'm screaming at him. Sergeant Smith, that's what his name was. And I'm screaming at him, so everyone's looking at me, and I'm screaming at him, and I'm like getting up, and I'm shaking the fuck at him, like I'm grabbing his head and everything, but the guard behind me doesn't help. He just looks at me like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, this is your buddy. What the fuck are you doing? Help me, right? So I'm causing a commotion on this plane, trying to get my guard back to life because I thought he died, and he just all calmly just, are we here? You son of a bitch. So he wakes up, and I was like, what the fuck happened to you? He was like, oh, well, I'm a really deep sleeper, but I haven't slept in a few days. I was like, you started twitching. You had a seizure. Oh, no, that's just when I have dreams, I kind of twitch a little bit. You know, the vibrations and the twitching and just. But yeah, we finally get to prison, and the only thing I can remember for like the first few days is they put you in the solitary. It's next to solitary, but you're still in a single cell while you're in processing. And the other guy was trying to be all friendly, buddy, buddy, and stuff like that. And he was like, "Oh, this place is hard. This place will kill you," and blah blah blah. And I'm sitting here thinking, it's a military prison. We're full of military people. Nobody's gonna be stupid. Maximum prison is down the road. That'll kill you, because people are doing life. They don't give a fuck.
So Leavenworth's not a maximum security?
It's split into two. You got minimum security and then maximum.
Oh, okay.
But inside of minimum security, you also got like normal security and then minimum, where nobody ever watches you and shit like that. I'll talk about that later.
Good behavior.
Yeah. But yeah, we get in processing, and then they take us down to our general pop. And I was put into November housing unit. It's Mike, November, Oscar, and Kilo and Lima. And Oscar is the minimum, but I was put next door to him. And they gave me cell 101 with this jackass. Never showered. And then, yeah, I ended up in the solitary a bunch after that.
What was the first thing you did to get into solitary? How did you end up there the first time?
Oh, I threw a chessboard at the guard.
Well, I mean, come on. Why?
Guy, he wouldn't shut the fuck up. Because, like in prison, okay, in military prison, I don't know how it is okay, I know how it is in civilian jail. But, like, civilian jail, the guards will talk about what happened to you no matter what. They'll talk to you, like, they'll talk to other inmates about what this guy did to get in here. But military prison, you're not allowed to do that. Because they don't split people up. If you got a murderer next to him, you're going to have, like, someone who did a petty crime. Oh, he stole a Slim Jim, you know? So you're not really allowed to know, because they don't want judgment. They don't want, like, anger towards another or resentment towards another person.
So that's pretty much how you didn't get fucked up when you first got there, because nobody knew what you were convicted of.
Nobody knew what anybody did.
That's crazy.
You weren't even allowed to ask if you were heard asking, because they had the entire place hooked up with microphones.
Oh, of course.
But if you were heard asking somebody else what they did to get in here, it was like 5 minutes later, there's an entire guard row coming in to get you, to take you off.
Really?
Yeah. And you spend a week in a hole, and then you come back.
So your first time was a week in isolation?
Oh, no, my first time was a month, because I threw a chessboard at a guard. But yeah, he came up to me, was like, "What'd you do? What'd you do?" And I'm like, "Well, you're the guard. You're not allowed to ask a question, because we get in process, but you also get like a class of what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. You know, the lowdown, what the guards are allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. They're not allowed to touch you other than to restrain you. There are no weapons, but they do have paintball guns filled with pepper.
Oh yeah, pepper balls.
Yeah, those things hurt. But yeah, he kept asking, and I was already pissed off because I'm in prison. I just left my girlfriend at the time that we were supposed to get married. My kids are away. I can't do anything. No, I have no friends at all that contact me. And I was pissed. And I was playing chess with some other dude. And this guard just wouldn't leave me alone. He's supposed to be doing his rounds and then go back up to his little sitting post. And then 30 minutes later, do his rounds. But he kept bugging me. So I just grabbed the chessboard and just right in his face. And it was a wooden one, and it caught him right in the mouth. And he had to get stitches right here.
And then, so you're in... So they strip you of everything when you go to isolation?
Isolation, they don't take your clothes or like the hygiene items, but they do take all your books and like your music player or MP3 player or whatever, the radio. You're basically stripped of any fun. You're not allowed to have a ball or the radio or books or basically anything really. And then they stick you in there.
So when you're in there, like, how do you handle it? Like, the first couple days have to be fucking hell because you're used to other people's noises and stuff like that, and then you go from that to nothing.
Sleep.
That's all you did?
Sleep. I learned how to take a regular shirt and turn it into a blindfold. And I just put that thing on because the lights are always on inside of your.
Oh, that's hell.
Because they have to be able to do their rounds and look in the window and see you. So I learned how to make that really fast, and I slept for like 20 hours a day. I woke up to eat, shit, shower, sleep.
What was the food like?
It was actually pretty decent.
Was it just like normal army DFAC food, or
It was better, dude.
it was better than DFAC food? Those motherfuckers, dude.
We had homemade chicken, like everything was homemade, like because the recipes come from the prisoners. We're just given we're just given the food and we make it ourselves.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's fucking cool.
And they had an entire kitchen crew that was like they weren't actual cooks in the army. They just knew how to cook. They would like the prison would order the food, and if we make a list of food, like because once you're in the kitchen, you're in the kitchen, so you have command over it. And some of the prisoners, like they work their way up to the top of the kitchen. They'd write down the food, and the prison would look it over, and be like, "Okay, we'll order it."
So how many different people are on your, I guess, cell block? We'll say.
In Gen Pop or isolation?
Well, isolation's obviously just you, but I mean Gen Pop, like.
Anywhere between 40 and 60, because it's a big area.
Is it?
Like each pod, it contains 60 rooms.
Okay, so it's pretty gigantic then.
Yeah, and then you got the open area, but it's 2 floors.
How did you make any friends in there before your first isolation?
Oh yeah, yeah. Most of my pod, we got really good friends, but there was a few assholes that nobody liked because I thought they were the King Kumpo because they're in prison. Oh, I made it to prison. I'm hard. No, you just got caught. Get over yourself.
Was there like a mentor that kind of took you under his prison wing?
No.
No, you just kind of fell into it and just followed along.
Because I mean, the routines changed like every year, so no one ever got used to it.
What do you mean routines? Like
Normally in Gen Pop, you'd wake up at like, say 6, in between 6 and 9, depending on the year. Yeah, that's how much they change it. They change your wake up time.
That's weird.
But like the first year I was in, I woke up at 6. We went to breakfast at 7. Then we come back and do whatever we want. And then at like 4 or
What, they got like TV and like board games and
TV, board games. They got
access to phones or internet or anything like this? Yeah.
The phones. I was blocked access from the internet.
I wonder why.
Or I was actually blocked access from the computers in the library because they were also hooked up to the librarian's computer, which had internet. That was in the notes. But yeah, you'd wake up at 6, go to breakfast at 7, come back, do whatever you want. Then at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock, they would take you outside. You'd get like an hour or 2 of rec time. And then you'd come back in, shower, whatever you want to do. Again, just do whatever you want to do. And then at like 10:30 or 11, they'd lights out. You'd have to be in your cell, and then it's, everyone goes to bed. So, and then like the year after that, they changed it. 9 o'clock was breakfast, and then 3 o'clock was rec time, and lights out was at 10.
I wonder why they do that.
So we don't get used to it.
Why?
They're stupid. They literally told us that you're changing stuff around that often, so we don't get used to it and we don't get stuck in the rhythm.
Complacency kills. I mean, you can look at it that way, but like that's the same concept there.
Well, we're in prison. What else do we got to do?
That's why I question it. It doesn't make sense. Do you have any contact with any of these guys?
No.
No. You don't want any contact. Why?
No.
That's just a piece of the memory that's just completely shut off.
Well, but I mean, most of them were good friends while I was in there, but
you don't think that friendship would translate to the outside?
Probably not. Plus, most of them are still in America anyway, so.
Yeah. So talk about so when did you go to your longest stint into isolation? And what did you do to get in there?
6 months in prison, I got thrown into the suicide cell for 3 months.
And that's pretty much isolation.
That's deep. That's hardcore isolation. Like, there's no one in there except for a guard.
And they take everything, shoelaces.
You're put in the turtle smock. That's all they give you. You're stripped naked. There's nothing in your cell, not even a bed, like the fluffy mattress thing or whatever. There's not even that. You're just given a turtle smock, which is the padded, like basically you're going in for an X-ray suit, and yeah, you're stuck in there. If you need a shit, you could shit, but the guard's gonna sit there and watch you, and then hand you a piece of toilet paper through the door.
Damn, dude.
And then they gotta watch you flush it.
How does that make you feel that your eyeballs are always on you? Paranoid? Does it start to fuck with your brain at all?
No, I have no shame. If somebody wants to see my asshole, I'll show it to them. I made them feel weird. Because when you're in the suicide cell, you're not actually allowed to go take a shower. You have to clean yourself with a sink, basically like a bird bath.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I'd have no shame, and I don't care who was looking through the door at me while I was taking this bird bath. I would fucking stare at them directly in the eye while scrubbing my nutsack. Bend over, look at them between my legs, scrub my asshole. I didn't care. I'd make them feel weird about it.
So then jump to where you start getting into the negative mental effects of isolation. Because you did do a extended stay in isolation, and you had nobody to talk to except for one guard that had enough empathy to help you stay alive, pretty much.
Well, I mean, I was never out in gin pop for more than a week. It was always I did something stupid, or I ended up in the suicide cell.
And why do you think this pattern of behavior just kept on happening?
Because I was pissed off. Fucking Army took all the evidence that I didn't do it and said, "Fuck it, we're giving somebody a promotion," so he did it.
Who got the promotion?
The judge. He went from lieutenant colonel to straight up.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and then he got brought down when they figured out that he's doing dumb shit, and then they started investigating every single one of his trials. They freed about 300 people after his investigation.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And you know what's... is there any articles on this shit that I could read up online?
I mean, the Stars and Stripes, but I don't think it made it very far because, you know, they're all hush-hush about that. Oh, somebody in our great army fucked up. We're going to hush-hush it. It makes us look bad.
Well, it's a business. Anything negative loses them money.
There were so many people that got freed that one of their housing units actually got empty.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he fucked up everybody.
I wonder if that's the same dude that fucking I was talking to go to trial by court martial before I got kicked out.
I don't know. There was a guy in the Lima housing unit that was in there for supposed theft. But they have video evidence and the pictures, like, because you're allowed your trial case with all the evidence in it. And this dude was Hispanic, very dark, very black hair, fluff, you know, the full thick hair of like a normal Hispanic.
Yeah.
And they said that he stole like 16 Humvees and sold them to the whoever for like billions of dollars, right? But on the video footage of the person selling the Humvees, the dude was white with no hair.
Huh.
He had the same judge I had. The judge was like, "Well, I don't like that evidence, so I'm going to count it out."
That's fucked up.
And yeah, he was supposed to get like, he was supposed to transition from the normal minimum prison that I was in to the maximum because he had like 40 years on him. But then when the investigation came out over the judge, his was like the first case they looked at. And they was like, why is this guy very darkly tanned and Hispanic with dark hair, but the guy on the video camera is white with no hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got freed. That dude was happy as fuck.
So I don't see how this isn't a bigger story, or at least I haven't seen anything about it. Maybe I got to do some deep diving, but
because it's the army.
Well, I understand that it's the army, but not only is this a colossal fuck up because this judge is fucking convicting people wrongfully, plus they're losing a lot of fucking money for falsely imprisoning people. Like, that back pay has to go somewhere. Like,
a lot of people were forced to sign non-disclosure agreements, and you can't talk about it. But I don't give a fuck. I'm in Germany. What are they gonna do?
Oh, you did sign an
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't give a shit
about your case?
About everything.
What do you mean?
I'm not even supposed to tell you about the housing units. how many there are and which one's named what.
Really?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck though. What are they gonna do? Come to my house? I'll just claim trauma.
I don't know. I didn't know that, man. God damn. So now, since you do have this traumatic time of silence at this stressful period of your life, do you think that that translates over into your now times, how you view your silence?
Probably, almost, kind of, sort of, 100%. Because I mean, think about it. With a coffee mug or the coffee can, I mean, I can't deal with that because it reminds me of prison. Silence. I've been in silence. I've been in quiet places too fucking long. Plus, I'm used to loud noises anyways, and that just amplified it.
Yeah. I don't understand your ability to get over it though. Like, see, I don't understand that. I can't, I don't have that. I focus on it and I drive myself crazy.
Because I think of it like this, even in relationships, I have this same thought pattern. If I can't change it, what's the fucking point?
It's like a defeatist attitude though.
Well, it's not defeatist, it's just, you just move on. Like with my past relationship, the longest toxic 3-year relationship of my life, I knew it was going downhill. There's no fixing it, so fuck it, let it go. And she was pissed off that I didn't cry when she said we're breaking up. I was like, okay. And she was pissed off because I didn't show any emotion about that, because I had no emotion. I knew it was coming. I knew why it was coming. And then, you know, she's complaining because, oh, you've been through my phone, you've looked at my message. No, motherfucker, you're connected to my router. I could see every packet that goes through. I'm not looking in your phone. Your packets just pop up.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
No, kind of. I've deleted that program though. But yeah, it's just, you accept it. Just, if you can't change it, what's the fucking point?
Now the thing that really interests me is like how this horrible situation didn't shift your perspective of the world.
Oh, it did. That's why I'm over here.
Okay, so talk on that.
When I finally got out, the world was too loud. The world was too shit. Then I realized America still has a shit ton of problems. Because when I got out, I went back home with my dumbass parents, alcoholics still, and they were so happy to see me and blah blah blah. Still living in a shit house with barely a roof on it, freaking trash piled up to your freaking kneecaps. And then I come to find out they sold my plaque, they sold my music gear, also they could buy alcohol, and no one's checking up on the house. Like, this is Alabama, we have health and welfare checks, but nobody's checking up on them to force them to clean up their act. And then I realized that rent is outrageously expensive, but the only job I can get is like $2,000 a month, and that's not going to even cover rent.
That's because you're a convicted felon at this point.
Uh,
Or is this after the recall?
no, this was before the recall, but the sheriff knew me. He read through my case, but he had the power to say yes or no on the registration, basically.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The state, I was basically forced to go register, but the state was the one that say, hey, he's registered. But he was the one to give them the paperwork. If he wanted to delay that paperwork, he could. And that's what he did, because he was like, I don't believe this shit, so I'm just gonna, you're gonna fill out this paperwork that says you're a registered sex offender and blah, 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 but I'm gonna forget about it underneath this big stack of shit I have to mail.
So is that title gonna stick with you?
No, it's gone.
It's completely gone, even in America?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, cause after I got recalled and had my heart attack and took the Title 10 because I didn't want to go back to trial, Title 10 said that I'm free, clear, I get paid. They fucked up, they apologized, here's your money. When I got back, I told the sheriff, he was like, okay, good. And then he just took the file and zzz. So I was never officially registered, but I was registered. But when he shredded that file, there's no more registration.
There's no trace of it online or anything?
No. But yeah, when I got back, I had to go work at the wood shop, which I found out I am very good at. But not because I was a registered sex offender. Nobody knew I was a registered sex offender. Not even the people I worked for until after. After I went back and did my trial, when I came back, they found out. Because all they knew is that I got recalled. They don't know why. They're Southerners. Recall. Oh, thank you for your service. Yeah. But it's because in the States you can't find jobs. You can find minimum wage fast food jobs, but unless you have a $100,000 piece of paper, you're not getting a job. And this is the South, where there's no big jobs except for Daikin.
What's Daikin?
That's some Japanese factory that makes like Hyundai and all that cars. But even still, you're paid minimum wage at a factory job. But rent is like a lot. Even in Alabama, the cheapest rent I could find in Alabama was like $1,600 for an apartment smaller than this. And I'm only making $2,000, but they also do it off a credit score. And I was never in I was never in America long enough to get a credit score. And yeah, my credit score was still like it was refreshed. So I realized then that America's still broken. And then I realized it was broken even more because when I got called, I was actually at the river fixing my boat, trying to get the rock attached to the hose so I could drain out the thing. And I got a call from my lawyer, and he says, hey, your case went to Congress. It's like 1% out of 1 million cases go to Congress so they could review it. And you have to be at a certain criteria. Like if your case is really fucked up, they're going to take it. And he says they took my case and they reviewed it, and it took them less than a day to review it before they realized something's fucked up. And they cleared my name. Right then on the spot, Congress cleared my name.
So you didn't have to do the Title 10. The Title 10 was the Army's fuckery, trickery to get you to shut up and get you fucking moving.
Yeah, but with the clearance from Congress saying I'm a free and clear man, they also, there's a stipulation in there that your old unit can retrial you. It's basically like you did an appeal to get it sent up to Congress. And if they clear you, the Army could do an appeal too.
Counter appeal. Countersuit. That was fucking scum, dude. Scummy.
And they brought me back, and I was fucking happy. Like, I didn't care if the engine bay was flooding or not. I grabbed the grill, I pulled up anchor, and I went to the farthest region of this river I could find away from no one. And I was shooting my gun up in the air. I was barbecuing. I was living life. And then he called me the next day, and he was like, hey, your old unit wants to retrial you, so you have a plane ticket. You have to go. You need a passport. Great. So that ruins my life. So a few weeks later, we get the date, whatever, and I head off towards old Raise Up.
Raise Up land.
Yeah, and I'm in 21st now.
Yeah, the Sustainment Brigade.
Yeah. And I'm pissed off anyways, and I meet up with a lawyer. I finally see him face to face. And he's talking about it, and he's like, they want to retrial you, but they want to use the same evidence. But they want to knock out the evidence at the same time. They basically want to do a he said, she said, because after so long, period. Oh, he forgot what he's saying.
Oh, I get it. They're trying to catch you slipping up.
Yeah. They want to use that. And, like, I was already panicking because I don't want to go through that court again because that courtroom just fucked me up.
Oh, you had a fucking heart attack. How old are you at the time? 27, 26?
20. No, I was 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 25. But we went over the whole procedure, and it took a while because I was like, I was in so long. They finally got me an ID card. Like, because when I was first there, officially, I didn't exist in the Army. When I left the first time for prison, they deleted everything. Like, I didn't exist. I got my medical file on accident because somebody in 6.6 didn't delete it. They actually kept it.
That's scary.
Yeah. But yeah, we finally get up to the day, like the week that everything's supposed to happen. And my lawyer kept telling me that there's options to just leave. You don't have to go through the trial again. And I'm panicking and I'm sweating, and every day is a new adventure of what anxiety is going to kick up now, right? Because I have to get a new uniform. Everyone's on me, and I have to keep it from the rest of the unit. But then I forgot that the unit is also full of ex-prisoners coming back.
Is it really?
Yeah, Daner, that's nothing but people coming back.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either until I got there. Like, their entire unit is made up of people coming back for retrial or prison.
I did not know that.
And, like, so I'd spend my days up in the crow's nest in the motor pool sleeping, and nobody messed with me while I was up there because you know, half the NCOs knew what I was going through anyways, but none of the little guys did. So the NCOs would never mess with me, and if someone was coming upstairs, they'd be like, "Hey, no, don't mess with him. He's up there doing his own thing." And then the week before trial was supposed to happen, I went out and drank at night shift.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was disgusting. One of my friends brought me there, but yeah, I'm up in night shift and I'm drinking, and then anxiety started happening because for some reason my brain went, "Hey, you have 1 week." Freak out, had a heart attack in the middle of the floor. And night shift, they don't give a fuck. They're two-celled. Yeah, they're just two-celled bouncers. So they just dragged me outside. They thought I was drunk and passed out, and they dragged me and threw me out. But luckily, there was a medic there, and he saw what was happening. Like one of the civilian medic, the German medics, he saw what was happening, and he, like, luckily the ambulance was already there, and they fucking tossed my ass inside of the ambulance, grabbed my phone, and basically woke me up long enough to open it up. And they just called the first contact in there, and they was like, "Hey, he's having a heart attack. You need to come get him or check up on him at this hospital." And then they find out I was in the military, and they took me from that hospital and shipped me off to Landstuhl.
To 9 Charlie?
No,
Psych ward or no?
just to the hospital because I had a heart attack and they had to keep an eye on me. And then when I get back, it was all blamed on me. The first sergeant and the commander, they were all pissed off because I had a heart attack and it was my fault. Blah blah blah. And I got in trouble because I looked at him dead in the eye. I was like, "Fuck you." And like I went off on him. I was like, "Have you ever gone through a prison in your entire life for something you didn't do?" I was like, "I can go next door right now and say that you raped me and you'd go to prison. You know how you'd feel?" I was like, "You've never gone through that shit, and then you're brought back to relive the entire thing again when you don't want to. You've been freed and cleared, and now you're being brought back. Fuck you." I was like, "It's not my fault I had a heart attack. I blame you, the army. You are the army." I was like, I'm blaming you, so go fuck yourself." And then he wanted to be like, "Oh, you parade rest and blah blah blah." And I was like, "No, go fuck yourself. I'm not in uniform. I'm drunk right now. You can't be talking to me." So I marched my ass out of there, and I like where the commander and them were, that, I guess not ROB. What is that base up the road a bit? Like you got Kleber Panzer. That's where they're at. And then Daner's down the road. So I literally walked the entire way, hungover, still in pain from the heart attack, still have those leads, whatever, on my skin, the sticky ones that they EKG shit, still everywhere. I don't have a shirt. I don't have shoes. Like, I have an ID card, and I walked all the way back to Kleber where the lawyer is, and I was like, "What are these options to get my ass out of here?" And he told me all the options, and the safest one was a Title 10. And I was like, "Print it out." And he was like, "Are you sure? I mean, I have to find it." I was like, "Print it out right now. I'm not leaving until you print it out." And he found it, and he printed it out, and he was trying to explain it to me. I was like, "Where do I sign? I don't care about any of this. Where do I fucking sign?" He was like, "Well, just on the bottom and stuff, and here you put your date and name and you sign." And I signed every piece of paper. And he was like, "All right, I'll turn it in." And he was like, "How fast do you want it?" I was like, "I want it in fucking now." I was like, "I don't care if your commander is asleep. Go wake his ass up and hand it to him."
Yeah.
He did, and his commander understood. He was like, because his commander heard, apparently he was up too. And his commander heard that one of the lawyer's clients had a heart attack. And they found out about me. He was like, "Oh, I understand. I'll send this up right now." And he faxed it right there in front of me and everything. Came back in 8 hours.
See, and that like the paranoid, like untrusting part of my brain's like, did they do this on purpose to put you under pressure until you cracked? That's what I think about. Probably the wrong thing to focus on in the story, but
Oh, I still troll him on Facebook.
who, the lawyer?
No, the commanders and shit. When they post pictures on that shit, I'll put on the Star Trek, or not Star Trek, Star Wars meme. "It's a trap." "Oh, congratulations to whoever re-enlisted. It's a trap."
Man, as much shit as I went through in the military, I still look back on it in some weird way. I'm thankful that I did it, and I don't think I'd change it if I could go back. Because even though it brought me a lot of mental anguish and 5 years of fucking just torturous pain before EMDR, I wouldn't be who I am.
I would definitely change a lot of shit,
But you can't.
but I would.
But you can. So why even entertain the ideas?
You fucking wait till I've been in a time machine.
Well, that's going to be a couple more years. But, like, I don't know. all the shit that I've went through, the bad shit in my life, whatever, like good and bad. I guess I'm at a point now where regret isn't an issue because I wouldn't be here in this apartment recording with my former soldier if I,
I mean, going back on the whole let it go thing because you can't change it, I still want to change, like, the only thing in my life I want to change is the entire army thing. I was only supposed to do 3 years. I was a fucking sleazeball. I ruined so many relationships because I'm a young kid. I would go back in time, slap myself in the head multiple times, and tell myself, hey, settle down. Also, don't make friends with this guy.
So you have a lot of regrets?
Regrets? Yeah. Not a single one, huh? Yeah. No, there's a lot, dude, because I was a fucking...
Weren't a good person there for a little bit.
I was not a good person. I was a whore. I was a black hat. Complete black hat. There was...
Explain to people that don't know what black hats are.
Black hat, you got black hat, red hat, and white hat. Black hat is... Well, they're all hackers. Black hat is the angry hacker. If they're going to take your credit card information when they walk by you. A red hat is kind of chaotic neutral. They do stuff just for fun, just to get their shits and giggles off of your expense. A white hat will lock your door if you leave it open. They're the nice guys. And I was a complete black hat asshole, but I was a whore. I didn't care about anybody else's feelings. I didn't care about diddly fuck.
Do you know why though?
Because I was free finally. I was away from America. I was away from Alabama. I was away from mom and dad.
This goes prior, man. This is...
Because I was free. I didn't have anybody telling me what to do.
No, I know that. Yeah, your first taste of freedom, of course, but don't you think that this gigantic pattern of self-destruction that you've led throughout your whole life kind of has to start with your childhood?
My childhood was full of alcoholism and abuse.
Exactly, where you only had to worry about who?
Me.
Exactly.
You're going to have to lead me further because this road is kind of wavy for me. Aircraft it for me.
Okay, so you're in these developmental years of your childhood. Yeah, you don't have a family. You don't have a I don't know how was your relationship with your mom? Did she show you physical love? Did she abuse, not abuse, but did she discipline you physically, or like you need to give me context?
Well, no, my mom, she only showed me love when she wanted the money I got for mowing lawns. My dad was the one with the physical abuse. Punishments. God forbid I'm too loud in the morning. There goes a belt to the face. Or a crowbar to the face. Yeah, those scars aren't normal. That was a crowbar because I was loud one morning and dad was drunk.
I just think that a lot of the problems, not a lot, I'd say a couple of the problems that you have today with self-sabotage and how you interact with people or getting close to people and pushing them away, I think that has to do with a pattern through your childhood of never having stable anything.
Name one person I get close to and push away.
You have gotten close to people and pushed them away. What did you do to me? We got super close.
Well, I was in the army. No, I was talking about today's day and age.
Today's different story.
Like, today's day and age, I just want to settle down and, save my money and buy a house and not be a fucking whore anymore.
But to do that, you gotta work through the shit in the past.
It's done work through.
That's what you think.
Have I self-sabotaged? Am I a whore? Do I go out and drink every day? Do I care?
No. I mean, it doesn't have to do with actions at all, Hendrix. It's how do you go about yourself? Like, with your own self. Do you love yourself? Are you comfortable with yourself? Those are the things that matter. Because I know that there's still parts of me that's the misunderstood emotional little kid that fucking likes butt stuff.
I'm gonna have to say no on all that.
What? Why?
The questions you asked.
Why?
I'm not comfortable with myself. I don't love myself.
Why?
Because the people I try to be friends with, apparently there's something wrong with me, so they don't want to be friends, or they just stop talking. There's something wrong with me, period, because I'm fucking OCD, and when something's not clean, okay, other people's places, I don't really care about. But when it comes to my place, there's a fucking speck of dust down here, and it's bugging the shit out of me.
But this is all stuff that can be corrected if you're willing to work through it. If you want what? I don't
The fucking dust.
Yeah, you can there's ways to get over OCD. There's ways to get over all these fucking mental hangups that you have.
But it's only over my place.
It doesn't matter. It's your environment. That's why you control it, because this is your world. You're the master of your world in these fucking walls. That's why you are the way you are.
So no, I don't love myself.
Why? I don't what's the hang up with not loving yourself then? What keeps you back from saying, "Hendrix, I love you today. Thank you for being alive today"?
OCD, the inability to deal with quietness, the constant thought of what the fuck is wrong with me because people, you know? I've actually asked one of my friends that. I went over this long conversation because I asked her, I was like, because she knows I don't want to fuck her. She knows I don't want to date her. And I know she doesn't want to date me. I was her first friend at Decathlon. So I asked her one day, I was like, what's wrong with me? And she said there's nothing wrong. She just like, some people just think you give off a weird vibe. What the fuck does that mean?
It's because you're different than everybody else. You're different than the normal. You're like me. You're like the fucking misfits, the social misfits or outcasts, whatever the fuck you want to call them.
Yeah, but nobody can give me a definite explanation of what the weird vibe is.
I don't get a weird vibe.
She says it's not weird, or she says it's not bad. It's just a weird vibe.
What I get from you is pain. And you cover up your pain a lot with humor, which I think is hilarious, and I laugh at it. But at the same time, there's a part in the back of my brain where I'm like, why is he covering up his emotion right now? What is he displacing, or what is he distracting me from? You know, it's not...
Is that why you were like that the other day when I said I'm busy, I have like everything playing at once?
Yeah.
No, that was because I was testing the artificial intelligence.
It's just... the whole self-love, man. That's the key to life. I still hate myself. I fight myself fucking daily on it. But you know what I force myself to do every day? I wake up, I stand in front of a fucking mirror, and I say, Addison, I love my life, I love my wife, and I love my family.
I don't.
Because that's a fake it to make it scenario.
A few reasons. I don't know if I should say this because some people at Decathlon watch this. I'm going to say it anyways. Fuck it. I work at Decathlon, the immigration black hole, making pennies for doing a shit ton. I live in Schwetzingen, an hour and 9-minute drive by car from my kids. There's nobody to come home back to. There's nothing to come back home to. It's just I have to come home.
And all these things are choices that can be changed.
I've already tried moving to K-Town. Can't.
Why?
Immigration office.
Bullshit. There's ways around it.
I'm when I signed that unlimited contract, the immigration office locked me into that job. I cannot change.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that whatsoever. That's not how socialism works here.
I have paperwork somewhere.
Yeah, but that's not how it works, dude.
But I'm not an actual citizen. I know.
There's a lot of fucking expats here that live here, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I pay Social Security and I pay the taxes and stuff, but I'm not a citizen. I don't get the same rights as citizens.
You get the same rights as citizens, just like I got.
But I'm locked into a job. If I try to change jobs, they won't let me. They won't accept it.
See, I don't believe that. That's like a dictatorship, dude. That's not...
I think it's actually on that green piece of paper I showed your wife the other day.
I'm going to talk to her about this, and I'm going to have her do some research, because you're making it sound a lot worse than it really is. Because you're an immigrant, you have a job visa. The job visa allows you to work here in Germany. It doesn't bind you to one fucking contract and force you to stay at one fucking place.
Because I think it might be on the green piece of paper or somewhere around there. Because me and my boss were talking about it. Because he said, oh, you only got to this date to change jobs if you want to change jobs. I'm like, that sounds like a trap.
They can't lock you into something the rest of your life. That's just not how it works. It's just not how it works.
I mean, they have a Decathlon in Kaiserslautern, but I don't want to fucking work at Decathlon my entire life.
Yeah, I know, but if it's a fucking step to get you closer to your kids, then why the fuck not? Rent for a fucking shitty ass tuna can apartment in K-Town's like $300 to $350.
I found one like a little bigger than my apartment here in K-Town for $400.
Then I don't, dude. Why? Now, this is a weird question. Why are you stagnant on finding self-love? Like, what is holding you back from loving yourself? Is it just your past experiences? Is it shame because you went through what you went through? Is it shame because you're not normal?
Probably because I'm not normal. I'm still trying to figure out what does weird vibes mean.
I told you, it's just
Like I can't like. There's people at work that I talk to every day, but we never hang out because I don't know why. Well, actually, I know why on a few of them because they have boyfriends or husbands. That's that's acceptable. But the other ones, like, I'm not here to fuck. I'm here to go explore the world.
well that the see, I had the same problem transitioning from the military side to the German side, yeah, and with building my own friend group outside of military or Americans, is they perceive everything different. Germans have a perception of America of 30-second sound bits that they get their news. America is the last topic at every fucking newscast. If you listen to the radio, it'll say something about wherever you live, something about Germany, and then at the end, well, especially when Trump was in office, was shit on America, and then news would be over with. So that's all they know. I mean, think about your perception of Germany before you came here, before you experienced it with your own eyes. What did you think? Fucking angry people walking around, marching around with their hand up in the air? Yeah, so did I, because that's what we're fucking told through pop culture and whatever. But actually experiencing it is totally different.
But still, if like at work, I've been there for a year and almost a half. These people that I've been talking to, they should know I don't want to fuck them. I just want to go out and drink and explore the river once in a while.
But they have different perceptions of how life should be. Their perception of life is school, work, die.
Sometimes I just want to go to someone's house and play Uno.
Huh?
Or chess. Or watch TV at a different place than this.
Then you need to find a group of people of like minds, the people on the fringe, the social outcasts, whatever, that are like you, that are androgynous, male or female, it doesn't fucking matter. Because those are the people you click with. Those are the people I click with.
Yeah, but you can speak German.
Well, I had to speak German.
My German comes out of necessity. And half the time, I don't even realize I'm talking.
Even with there's a lot of psychology that goes into speaking a second language. A language that's not your mother language. Because you do feel fucking like a complete goddamn idiot trying to speak a different language. In front of a mother language speaker. Like, that was one of my biggest hang-up when speaking German was the fear of being wrong. Until one day at work, I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm just going to start saying the shit that's in my head. And if it's wrong, they're going to correct me. And you know what? They corrected me.
It pisses me off at work because some of the people are like, oh, I don't understand your accent when you're speaking English because you always speak. What the fuck does that mean? I don't make fun of your language.
It's because...
Like, I understand we talk with the front of our mouth, but, don't tell me, oh, you speak like
the same. That's how the Germans perceive how Americans talk. Is that we talk That's the way that they make fun of us. We make fun of Germans by saying
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't go up to somebody I don't understand when they're speaking German and say like, hey, why do you sound like you're from 1945 in the army? I just be like, hey, can you say that again but slower? Can you spell that word? Like, I've actually because I go up to reception a lot because people like to steal my pens. And I'll ask them questions like, or I'll try to say something in German and somebody will correct me and be like, can you spell that out? And then I'll write it down and I'll say it. And they're like, is that right? Okay, yeah. Like, I'm not making fun of their speech. I'm trying to understand what they're saying. But everyone else is like, oh, I don't even understand you when you speak English because I'm not like, well, I don't understand you when you speak German because you sound like you're from the army in 1945.
Yeah, I mean that has to do with the way your mouth moves when you talk. Because we are, as Americans, taught to speak from the front of our mouth.
But I'm super Southern.
Germans here. And Russians are in the chest.
But I'm super Southern with 4 years of speech therapy to get rid of most of that, and it didn't work. I mean, okay, it worked a lot. You could understand me, but...
What you gotta do is immerse yourself in it. Go to work. Don't fucking speak English. Be uncomfortable about it. Be okay with failing at speaking. And let other people fucking correct you. And don't take judgment. Don't hold judgment to the people that do correct you. That's the only way you're going to get over that.
I mean, there are days that half the team doesn't, or not half, all of the team doesn't even speak English. So that's the days that I'm not even realizing I'm speaking German. But it's like the people outside of my team, whenever I try to talk to them, they're like, "Oh, I can't understand you," and then they bring out that shit. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to shut up with
Because
that.
they don't have experience speaking with somebody from the South, a Southern American accent on a German language. I had the same problem. If I would talk to somebody outside of my crew, out of my shift, it would take them a long time to understand me because we have different dialects. We have different speech patterns and stuff like that. But that's just getting to know somebody, dude. Like, you shouldn't let that fear of failing or fear of fucking up or fear of somebody making fun of you the way you talk hold you back from expanding your knowledge on the German language.
Mostly, it just makes me want to headbutt them.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I totally get that. But you got to force yourself.
Because I've been through 4 years of speech therapy, and that was a horrible event, and that was I was very self-conscious about that. And then I come here and people are making fun of the way I speak. It's like, dude, I'm going to grab you up by the collars and headbutt the fuck.
So this is a problem that's rooted in the past.
Well, you've heard Boomhauer speak, haven't you, off of King of the Hill? I was worse than that. And I had to go through 4 years of speech therapy to get to where I am now, and it's still Southern.
I mean, it's very light.
You should hear me when I'm excited.
It's still like
The other day when I was at, what was it, 2 days ago when I said go on get?
Yeah.
That it almost came out.
Go on get.
Yeah, when I was like, hey, go on get. Yeah, that was it was coming out.
You shouldn't be ashamed of that either. That's you, man. No matter how much you try to run from Alabama, you're a part of Alabama. There's a part of that self-love.
I hate Alabama.
Well, once you can work through your problems, you'll realize that I do too. Once you work through those problems, you'll realize that you'll be thankful. One day, hopefully, you'll be thankful for being from Alabama and being an American that lives in fucking Germany. You know, that does speak German, that does have a German job. Not a lot of people have the life that you got, man. Nobody that I know has a fucked up life from birth to till you got out of the army.
Yeah, but yeah.
You just gotta accept yourself, man. Accept yourself for who you are. Because as gay as it sounds, you're a beautiful person, and I admire your mind because it is so you can't penetrate it the way mine gets penetrated by depression or by anxiety. You just overcome stuff. I don't. I
Just
dwell.
accept it.
See, I can't. I don't. There's something mentally or chemically wrong with my brain to where I cannot just let shit go.
You know how I think of it? Can you like if something bad happens, can you change it?
Of course not. But
Then why the fuck are you riling yourself up?
because it's
Move on. There's too much going on up in here to stuff another worry in there, so that's why I just let it go. It's like, oh, can I do this with it, or can I change it? If yes, put it in the background. If not, fuck it.
See, I can't do that, dude. I just can't. I've never been able to do that.
That was another problem in my past relationship. Is apparently I didn't really give a fuck about anything because like when I had to change jobs from the part time when I was going to school and then full time when I couldn't go to school. It was always, oh, you're not worried about going to school or not. It's like, oh, I am, but I can't change it right now, so I'm not worried about it. Or there was a time where somebody lost a key to the high school because, you know, cleaner, you have to clean high schools too. And I was one of the main guys to go there. Somebody signed out the key, and then they gave it to me, and I unlocked what I needed to unlock. And at the end of the day, I locked what I needed to lock. And then I handed the key back. I didn't sign it out, but that person lost the key, and I got blamed for it. You have a signature sheet for a reason.
Yeah.
So the entire time, I didn't give a fuck. Like, I wasn't worried about it. But it went on for 3 weeks, this investigation, because somebody had to pay for it. And that was like a 4,000 euro key. Because it was the master key.
Yeah.
And you know, if they have to get rid of the key, they have to change all the locks to the entire high school. So it was like 4,000 euros. I didn't care about it. But then she was like, oh, why are you not caring about it? Why are you showing no emotion? You just don't give a fuck. You know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. If I can't change it, why am I going to worry about it?
She acted that way because she can't act that way. I would act the same way in that position because I don't understand that. Like, In the physical sense, in the materialistic sense, it doesn't bother me. But for me, I can't let shit go that has affected me deeply emotionally. Like I have a friend, or used to be a friend, that when I first started here in Germany working, we were so fucking close, and he was like a brother to me. And I told him some stuff, and it got passed on, and I knew it came from him. I confronted him about it. I asked him not to do it again. We rebuilt the relationship. He did it again. Said something to somebody else about me that I told him not to say, to give Vita, yeah, to keep it between us, and it got out. To this day, I still think about it. It still pisses me off.
Can you change it?
Oh yeah,
How do you change it?
I just confront him.
No, I mean now. Can you change it now?
Like the past, no, but I can correct it now. It's a phone call away. Do I do it? No. Do I let it live rent free in my head? Yes. Why? I don't know. Because I like the fucking mental pain. That's the best way I see it.
Okay. Well, I had to explain to her that I didn't sign off the key. I didn't lose the key, so why should I worry about it? I don't care if they're investigating it. They might possibly charge me 4,000 euros. If they try to charge me, I'm just going to take it to a lawyer. They have a signature sheet for a reason, so why should I care about it? Like, there's a million phone calls coming through. There's a million emails asking me the same questions. I got pissed off at her because she was interrogating me, and I kept saying the same thing over and over and over again. She didn't like it. And I told her, I was like, I'm not answering your fucking questions anymore. I'm going to go on the computer. And then she got pissed off at that. Why are you just treating it like it's nothing? Because it is nothing. Why should I worry about it? Again, if you can't change it, why worry?
In that situation, I would have been on you, like on your side, unless somebody was like, unless there was a group of people like physically blaming me.
No, they were all blaming me.
And that's when I would take that personal, and I would hold that part, like a grudge against that part. But like actually losing a key, like that wouldn't fucking matter to me. It'd be the fact that the other people think that less of me, that they think I would have lost it or did something with it. You know, that would affect me more than the actual key situation.
I just kept asking the same question. What's the signature sheet say? Oh, that dude? Okay, get off my dick, you know?
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, that's a good little episode. I hope to get some more veterans on here, or anybody that has extreme stories of pain. I would really like to hear your story. Thank you for listening. Shout out to Black Rifle Coffee, or vet.tv. You know, it's a huge vet community, and wonderful guys. Black Rifle, started by a veteran. Now he has a gigantic coffee firm. And then Vet TV. It's amazing what these guys do. Is they link up with all these vets and they make a dream come true. Kind of like what I hope we can do one day, but in a few years. Yeah. Well, thank you, and I guess we'll catch y'all next week. Cheersy!